Blog Talk Radio / 2RAW4TV, man. Yeah. I'm too raw for TV. I'm too raw for TV. I'm too raw for TV. I'm the truth, so you gotta believe me. I'm too raw for the TV. I'm too raw for the TV. I'm too raw for the TV. Gangsta, but I'm still revolutionary. I think it's time for revolution. No prepping my neck for nuisance, cause I'm a beat rider, cut the street. They view me as a nuisance, but I'm the smartest, the coolest, the hood. Young Isaac Newton, what trouble, war and pollution, hate crimes, robbing and boosting, man. Life is crazy, for police pull up and start shooting. Who the fuck is gonna stop it, and what the fuck is solution? Shit is real as 3D, out here you gotta believe me. Man, we just say the shit that the count can say on TV. I'm too raw for TV. I'm too raw for TV. I'm too raw for TV. I'm the truth, so you gotta believe me. I'm too raw for the TV. I'm too raw for the TV. I'm too raw for the TV. I'm too raw. I'm gangsta all of the way. I address all the real issues. Palmetto Star hit me up, say we gon' need a lot of tissue, cause this show is the shit. We can real talk and drop and hit. Just too raw for TV. Better pray your computer don't blip, cause it's on 3, 2, 1. Live in your home. At your B is what it is. Call a sequence on your phone. I know everybody gon' feel this. Too raw to be the realest. But Brandy Monster's taking it. Palmetto gonna kill it. I'm too raw for TV. I'm too raw for TV. I'm too raw for TV. I'm the truth, so you gotta believe me. I'm too raw for the TV. I'm too raw for the TV. I'm too raw for the TV. Gangsta, but I'm still revolutionary. I'm too raw for the TV. I'm too raw for the TV. I'm too raw for the TV. Gotta believe me. I'm too raw for TV. I'm too raw for TV. I'm too raw for TV.
If you hear my voice, then you're part of the revolution. Welcome to 2RAW4TV, exclusively on blogtalkradio.com/2RAW4TV. I'm your host, Palmetto Star, the ruler of underground radio. We got a fantastic show for y'all. The Real World Austin's own Nehemiah Clark is going to be in here. He's going to talk about MTV. He's going to talk about his music, but the most fantastic work this guy is doing right now is his spiritual work, and it's supernatural, it's off the chain. So we're going to talk to him about it. And he has a lot to say on the subject, so we're definitely going to speak to him about it. Just want to let you guys know that the 2RAW4TV mixtape, Turn Off Your TV, is going to be available for free download on the 23rd of this month. So get out your calendars, is on. So 2RAW4TV, we're bringing it to your CD player. And a couple announcements. Wow, SpiesEyes.com. They are making some major moves out there in the Atlanta area. They're independent journalists. They're actually re-releasing their site on Saturday. And that's SpiesEyes.com. They're off the chain, y'all. They're taking no prisoners out here in the Atlanta area as far as journalism goes. They're holding back no punches. So go ahead and check them out. Like I said, we got a fantastic show for y'all. We are going to be talking to Nehemiah Clark and higher consciousness, and he has a lot to say about that. There's just so much on the subject. We're going to be talking about the weather and how consciousness actually affects that. So just stay tuned, y'all. It's gonna be a crazy show. This is actually a guest that's gonna be on the show actually this month. His name is True God. This is a song by him called Everything Changes. Call up 323-410-0036. We got MTV's own Nehemiah Clark in the building, y'all.
True. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk global economics, electronics and chronic. Look beyond it, it's massive, the bomb sent to atomic. Riot gear, we lions here, roaring at demonic. Spirits for all the kids that's been hooked up on phonics. They say natural disasters, heart been engineering. It's time to free your mind, your heart's been interfering. Makes you wanna be optimistic and you being so fearless. But everybody see it, it's so dark in appearance. And we stuck in 3 wars, 9/11, the demeanor. Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, from Haiti to Katrina. Makes you wanna be dreamers. Niggas looking at FEMA, see the president is evident, it's off in a smoke screen to represent whatever you can see in the hope dreams and pipe dreams. The decadence that we see, it's all a torture. Enforcers, the rest where you be, and you've been trying to open up and you've been trying to get free. Yes.
Yeah, we're fed up with these games, all this talk of change.
Just dreaming for a better day another way. We just dreaming for a better day another way.
We don't need your lies, we won't compromise.
Just dreaming for a better day another way. Just dreaming for a better day another way.
And this is where we draw the line. We're changing.
Just dreaming for a better day another way. Just dreaming for a better day another way. Product of my environment, workers seeking retirement. No social security, open up the conspiracy. Hold up now, are you hearing me? Running from all the tyranny, lyrically moving waters. Just know the devil ain't scaring me. Fearing me don't exist. I clearly walk through the mist, endearing me with the gifts that was given. Punching my fist, the paternal orders and lists. If you started feeling the shift, the news concealing the shit, but I'm revealing the script. So pick a role at your funeral, pick a soul that seems beautiful, change it and meme it, then align with the stars and the numerals. Who are you, would you stand with refugees in Sudan, or walk the streets of Japan with knives and pistols in hand? Louder so I can see you, 1,000,000 rebels are equal to one nation of God. The power is with the people, no politician's inscription, the truth is never mixed up. So if you're ready to rise, then put your fists up. True.
Yeah, we're fed up with these games, all this talk of change.
Just dreaming for a better day another way. Just dreaming for a better day another way.
We don't need your lies, we won't compromise.
Just dreaming for a better day another way. Just dreaming for a better day another way.
And this is where we draw the line. We're changing.
Just dreaming for a better day another way. Just dreaming for a better day another way.
Yo, it's a cop fried L. I'm hot like hell. Turn off your TV and listen to 2RAW4TV Thursday at 11 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio with my man Palmetto Star. He's a phenom beyond these peons. Turn your TV off.
And we're going to be talking to Nehemiah Clark, y'all. He was in the Real World Austin. So, call him 323-410-0036. This is an enlightened young brother right here. Nehemiah, you online?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me fine? What's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. Loving what you're doing right now, the music, everything, man. Loved you on the Real World. That was awesome. But,
man.
I mean... And, I need to ask you about that. People want to know about that, but definitely want to get on your spiritual work, because I know that, a lot of people are interested in that as well, and also that you're doing some fantastic spiritual work, and you have some great concepts and actual practical work. What was it like to have your life filmed on the Real World, though, during that time?
You know what, man? It's so funny how used to it you get. You can never really imagine being in a situation where there's cameras on you at all times and feeling like it's something you get used to, but within a week, it's like the cameras aren't even there. So, believe it or not, man, it's like, it's not too hard to get used to, but then you bring people around who, aren't used to that situation, and then they see the cameras and they freak out, and you, it's like you almost become accustomed to them.
I feel that. Like it becomes a part of your life. Like you already accepted that into your life. I hear that. Now, I put the word out there, and I'm in Atlanta, so I put the word out there on the street as far as, Nehemiah Clark's going to be on the show. Nehemiah Clark on TV, The Real World, Austin. And the dude came up to me, he was like, man, Nehemiah's like one of the only that real black dudes that were on there. I mean, did you ever feel alienated being like the only black person in that? Weren't you like the only black person on the Austin series?
Yeah, the only one. And
wow. How'd that feel?
Yeah, it was hard. You know what, man? There was times when, I did feel like I was on there by myself because I would say certain words that people wouldn't understand, or I talk about instances and a lot of people really couldn't relate, so there were times when, I did feel like an outcast. But, I had to look at it in the good light. It's like out of all of the black people that I tried out for the show, they only chose me. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at it like that. Like, okay, let me try to see the positive in this situation. And, I mean, there's a lot of people in the house who do have similar experiences as you, and it's like you may not think that just by looking at them, but the moment you start talking to them and actually getting to know them and, not in a party atmosphere, you get to see that a lot of the people on the show are very similar.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, it seemed like you guys were partying a lot. How was the partying out there? Was it like a whole lot of partying going on in the real world?
Every night. That's what it is. It was like, every night. What else is there to do? They put you in this nice house. You don't really have to work. You're going out. You got these big cameras following you. You're in Austin, and, I mean, all of the bars are within walking distance from each other. And it's like I was a 19-year-old, just finished college student, so it was like for me that was a big vacation because I was like working full-time and going to school full-time right before I got on the show. So I got there and I just let loose.
I feel that. Now, when did you start getting into music and stuff like that? You said had you got into music before you were in the show, or was that something like a development afterwards?
I was into music way before the show. Basically, I come from a family of musicians, so music has been something that I always was into. I went to school for film and music, so before the show, I was pursuing that, and then I did The Real World, and it kind of took things, put it in a tornado, and then just let me loose in the world, and it was like, all right, now make something of this opportunity. So I've been pushing the music a lot more now, but it's always been there.
No doubt. Now, you have a band called The Scholars. What is up with that name, and when did you decide to put a band together and stuff like that?
The Scholars pretty much came because all of the band members were either in school at the time, like a college, or had graduated. And, they looked like people who you would see on the college campus. So along with having that image, it's also kind of what the music was reflecting, and that was just like, an abundance of knowledge being distributed through music, so it was like scholars, you think of learning and teaching and growing and things like that, so I thought it just fit well with everything that I was trying to do.
No doubt. And now, I mean, this dude does some amazing spiritual work. He does, good, man. I'm talking about spiritual advice. This dude has it, man. But I want to go into one of your tracks, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. What's that about?
Oh, he went out. Okay. So this is old school for me. This was actually written, I think, like in 2005, I'm thinking, 2006.
Wow.
So this is an old, it was, I wrote this a while ago, and I remember recording it in Arizona just in my little closet studio. But this was a lot of artists nowadays. They talk about like drug use in a positive manner. It's like in a song, it's cool to talk about how much drugs you're selling or what you're doing to the scene or this, that, and the third. So hearing that, Boulevard of Broken Dreams was kind of my reaction to that type of music, that was flooding the scene at the time. And really it just reflects on what drugs really are doing, you know, to the people that are using them and the people that are selling them, you know, because my mother is a recovering addict, so this is something that I had to see growing up. So you hear it in the song and they glorify it, you know what I mean? But in actuality, if you were to see that situation firsthand, then you would see that, you know, it's no less a matter. So this song is what I wrote to that. This was The Boulevard of Broken Dreams, so I wrote that a long time ago. So we'll see how it comes out. I haven't heard it in years, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't heard it in years.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Hey, but what's old to you is new to everybody else that hasn't heard it, man. And call on 323-410-0036. We got Real World Austin, Nehemiah Clark. He's in the building, man. We're going to be talking about some of his spiritual journey and spiritual work a little bit. So go ahead and call up. This is Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
This is the boulevard of broken dreams, where your nights are interrupted. As the hungry baby screams, parents are fiends, a better way is hardly ever seen, so we rely on schemes for a number of things. The days are long, but the nights seem even longer. The devil is up in your home, so there's no place to take cover. Can't even think about the last time that you hugged your mother or shared a conversation to catch up with one another. Got the same hunger inside with a little different approach. Wanna be sit right, but got the streets as a coach. Hope seems to be a ghost on the roads that you coast, stepping over needles as you watch people overdose. We pour liquor, the urban style full of toast for the folks who got the short and life got cut it to roast. School can't teach your brother nothing, so we forced to sell dope. Even if we finish college, still cost too much dough. Mentally trapped, want to move forward without looking back. Love to be around your peace, but that's where the trouble's at. When brothers don't know how to act and ambition and turn black, and our fathers rarely make contact. You better wear your hard hat, prepare for the sky's fall, cause once you lose it all, you got no one to call. The world's your best friend when you got ends to put in, but when your pockets down the limit, you wonder where everyone went. So we cut school cause class will give you money to spend, and we clock up on the corners with 40s, getting bit. This is where most of our time is spent, cause once we go home, it's like the harsh realities of life kick in. Most gon' die here, you know it, so we live with no fear. Expect the worst every day, so it's hard to shed tears. The same story seems to be said amongst most of the peers. Young but been independent for a number of years. This is the boulevard where minds and bodies permanently scarred. Packle, carjacked, murder, addiction, and identity fraud. Living without a cause except survival when these constant wars. But you do what you do, and you stay on your job. This is the boulevard where minds and bodies permanently scarred. Packle, carjacked, murder, addiction, and identity fraud. Living without a cause except survival when these constant wars. But you do what you do, and you stay on your job. This is the boulevard of broken dreams. This is the boulevard of broken dreams. This is the boulevard of broken dreams, where your nights are interrupted. As the hungry baby screams, parents are fiends. A better way is hardly ever seen, so we rely on schemes for a number of things. This is the boulevard of broken dreams, where your nights are interrupted. As the hungry baby screams, parents are fiends. A better way is hardly ever seen, so we rely on schemes for a number of things. It gets wild up in this place we call the concrete jungle. Others want to see you stumble, so it's hard to stay humble. Nowhere to turn, permanently exposed to the rubble. And everywhere you look, people trying to survive, they struggle. Gotta hustle in this place with jobs are non-existent, with evil. Stay persistent, ways to eat is inconsistent. More get a chance at prison than a chance at prison. While the hungry kill to eat, and some kill for attention. President fails to listen to the cries that we sending, wondering why we approach the law with apprehension is kill or be killed on the streets that we live in. With everyone being a target, even women and children. There's no discriminating on the lives that can be taken. We live adjacent to the places that some will call forsaken. Only few live to make it, and few will live to escape it. So we suck it up and learn to deal with our placement. There's no coming down. For those in which drugs are found, you can find them on the block, floating with feet on the ground, waiting to hawk anything that they can get their hands around. Whose only goal in life is to never come down. This is the boulevard. In order to survive, you gotta be hard. We're doing wrong, cause sometimes not let you starve. Stay with the mob, cause there's no limit to who gets robbed. But you do what you do, and you stay on your job. This is the boulevard of broken dreams, where your nights are interrupted. As the hungry baby screams, parents are fiends. A better way is hardly ever seen, so we rely on schemes for a number of things. This is the boulevard of broken dreams, where your nights are interrupted. As the hungry baby screams, parents are fiends. A a better way, it's hardly ever seen, so we rely on teams for a number of things.
This Miss Teflon, the original female gangster, born and bred in Seattle, 206, in a motherfucking building, rocking with Palmetto Star on 2RAW4TV, exclusive shit on Blog Talk Radio / 2RAW4TV. Show my niggas some love every Thursday night at 11 and turn off your TV. Yeah. Special shout out to my nigga Bachi, serving 50 years, and my big bro F. Lee in the Fed. Free my niggas, down with the crew. I'm gone.
Nehemiah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey. Yeah, I can hear you. Now, you've been doing some phenomenal spiritual work. We actually have callers online, and I am getting to you guys. So we got a question in the chat room actually about spirituality already. By DJ Andrew Clark 3. Shout out to you, and shout out to everybody listening in the chat room. They want to know, where did Evan cross the line when he questioned your spirituality?
That's a really good question. You know, that night that they showed on the episode, that night that they showed on the episode, they cut a lot of the argument out, and you know, there was just a lot of things that were said that were really disrespectful. But for some reason, it was once he started talking about the spirituality, because you know, I know that people are going to be watching this, and I know that, you know, when they see me doing like my meditations and things like that, in a way they're already mocking me. So it was just like enough was enough at that point. I really just wanted to let him know more about what it is that I knew and why I was the way I was, versus, you know, it being a situation where I'm trying to say I'm better than you, you know. So it's just like me and him just always went back and forth. And, you know, that's just where we got to the top of the volcano and it erupted.
Wow. Nehemiah?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you. Yeah, I definitely hear that. That sounds like a tense situation right there. But and I am getting to the callers, but I want to ask you, what has your own spiritual journey been like? How did you really get started on your own spiritual journey?
Well, obviously that's a good question, because to end up where I am now, you know, it's like there's been a lot of turns in the road, but I was raised Christian, went to a Baptist church, and, you know, I pretty much studied Christianity through the real world and up until I got off the show. And during that show alone opened up a lot of different things in my life to, one, get to view myself as other people got to saw me, but also I got to be exposed to a whole bunch of different situations. And for some reason, there was just something in me that just wanted to start looking deeper into what it is that I was basing my life off of. So I just started doing more research and just being more open to the ideas of what other religions were trying to show. So that's really what started my whole spiritual path.
I hear that. And we do have a caller on the line, 909. You have a question for Nehemiah or a comment?
I know 909.
Huh?
Hello?
Hey, 909?
Hi.
Hey, what's going on? You have a question or a comment for Nehemiah?
Oh, yeah, I do. My question was, how was your fast?
How was my fast?
Yeah, I tweeted you when you were doing your fasting, and I was just wondering, how was your fast?
Oh, okay, yeah, I think I remember that. The fast was really well. It was my first time ever fasting, and for half of the day I wasn't able to sit on chairs or wear leather shoes or be comfortable in any way. So that part was hard because I had to go to a couple events and I had to sit on the floor. but the food part wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. So, you know, I'm happy I got through it. It was only a day. I don't know how people do it for longer than that because I was getting real hungry.
Yeah, I did it for a day, too. I was fasting with you, but I did it for a day with one of my friends, and it was intense.
How did yours go? Is that the longest you've ever done it?
Yeah, well, no, I've done it 21 days, but it was like you fast up until a certain point. And so, like, you fast up until a certain point of the day, so at 3 o'clock you're allowed to eat. But that was the longest one I've went, you know, without eating, without sitting on chairs, and it was intense.
It was a good one, huh? So you got to do the same one that I did.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm happy. Well, I mean, I just found out really how how important fasting is, you know. So that's the reason why I just started doing it. But I'm gonna try to do it more. So you just tweet me. You let me know when you fast, and I'm gonna try to fast with you, even if it's just for a day.
For sure, we'll look out for me.
Okay. Well, 909. Where you calling from?
Oh, I'm from Ontario, California.
Okay. No doubt. Well, that's what's up. You have anything else to ask or anything like that?
No, just look out for me on Twitter at Miss Too Rude, and that's it.
All right, I'm gonna check you out. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
No doubt.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate you calling. Keep it raw. Now,
okay,
you recently were on Facebook, and you said something to the effect of Christianity could be a good stepping stone for those seeking higher consciousness. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I think that for people who want to start taking steps into, like, one, realizing that there is a bigger picture and there is a bigger energy force out there greater than us, like, I think that Christianity is a good stepping stone because there's so many different ways and so many different places that you can learn it, and also learning it is different than learning something that's bizarre because you have a lot more support learning something like Christianity because a lot more people on this side of the world practice it. And I think that learning that there is something bigger is very important. So anything in this world can be used in a positive way, you know, if you utilize it the way it's supposed to.
No doubt. And now I know that you have seen a lot of things in your spiritual journeys. What are some of the things that you have seen as far as, like, you know, on any trips or anything like that? What are some of the things that you have seen and experienced?
It's man, it's so such a detailed question. I guess one of the main things that I've seen that just really helped me continue on my spiritual journey is just the truth of there being something bigger than me and there being something else out there to life than what is taught to us. You know, it's like the way it's taught to us is like we go to elementary school, which prepares us for middle school. We go to middle school, which prepares us for high school. We go to high school, prepares us for college. And it's like we're on this kind of robotic system of how life is supposed to be led, you know, but in actuality, there's so much more out there, you know.
No doubt. There is a lot out there. Now, the president and all that, they're beefing up security for 9/11. Now, what do you think do you think they're preparing for maybe an alien attack or something like that? What do you think? Do you think there is aliens?
I think there's aliens. Yeah, I do think there's aliens, but not so in the sense of how television makes aliens to be. I think that we're all connected the same way. I think that we're all beings from the same light force that created everything. So they're alien in the way that they're foreign to our knowledge of what they are, but as far as them being different than us, I don't think they're too far off.
No doubt. And now, do you have any, like, theories about what's going to happen in 2012? Is 2012 just a date? Are we in that season right now of change through thought and things of that nature?
I think the change has always been happening. I think the evolution of, you know, man is what we're here for. So that's something that's always happening, whether it happens on 2012 or whether it happened before or after. It's something that's constantly happening. I think that there may be something significant on that date. I mean, it's hard to, just ignore so many different prophecies and things like that, from people who did have knowledge of, what could possibly take place. So I do feel that there is going to be some type of major shift in consciousness, some type of evolution, and I'm excited for it because, I'm always excited to see things evolve, when they're supposed to.
No doubt. Now, I was introduced actually to you through Mark Marcel, and shout out to Mark Marcel. He was on the show previously, and he was talking about DMT. I want to talk about that, the sort of and what that impact has had on society. I want to talk about actually this song, "To My Baby Girl," because it's like you kind of see in the feature with that one. What was the inspiration behind that track?
The song "To My Baby Girl," pretty much the inspiration to that was just doing all these different television shows and doing appearances and getting to see firsthand, like, how differently people treat you, being on television, and, two, how differently girls treat you. So it was almost just like some of the warnings that I think a lot of us men have on if we ever have a girl and, like what she's going to see coming into this world, because as men, we could be dogs at times, and we've done some dog stuff with women being involved. So, it's like that was just almost like a letter trying to, spit it out there in the universe so I'm be able to teach her the good qualities now, But I want to say this. I want to play this last song, and we have, 30 minutes left?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that we should just talk, you know what I'm saying? I think maybe we could do another radio show where I come on and we play the music, but as far as sharing, I think that we could really, get some good information out within that time,
Okay, no doubt, and that's what we're going to do, and we're going to do that. We're going to play this track. It's called "To My Baby Girl," and we're going to come back with some very, very potent information, y'all. Stay tuned. You definitely want to maybe get your pens and pads out for this one. Call up 323-410-0036 as well. And remember to press 1 so I could recognize you, your number. This is "To My Baby Girl" by Nehemiah Clark.
What, you ain't know? It's your boy Press on the track.
Hey baby girl, I'm writing this one right here to make you aware of some things before you get here. You won't come across a lot of temptation from fake ass friends to brothers impatient, promising the world if you just let them take it. You gotta be a step ahead of these people racing. Between me and you, life can be amazing, or a fiery pit that don't stop blazing. You gotta be smart with decision making. Not gonna be around the whole time, so I'm just praying that all the lessons I give somehow stick, and you don't grow up to be one of those chicks that everything they about is everything I'm a gift to the way they move their hips and show off their tits. It's like their morals just don't exist, and they comfortable acting like they ain't got no sense. So for you, I want the skies to be blue, so I'ma teach you early on how to yourself to be true, cause that right there is a determining factor. If you can learn that, you learn what they do don't matter. Hey baby girl, I'm writing this one to you, even though you still ain't came out the womb. I want you to be everything that it is that you want to be, so I'ma try to show you what you need to see. So this is a letter to you from me, and it close is some do's and some don'ts, some good and some bad, some will and some won't. Now you gon' reach the stage that's gonna move me when you stop thinking that the boys you know got booties, and you're being asked out to the movies, and you need a training bra for your new boobies. Now they say this is an important stage, cause this mentality follows you for the rest of your days. So if you're fast and young, you'll probably be old and dumb, the type of girl that makes every dad wish he had a son. Easily giving up the rum pum pum and cleat chasing every sport cause she thinks they got some. See, I'ma make sure you always got cheddar, so money don't make you act like you don't know no better. Hey baby girl, I'm writing this one to you, even though you still ain't came out the womb. I want you to be everything that it is that you want to be, so I'ma try to show you what you need to see. So this is a letter to you from me, and it closes some do's and some don'ts, some good and some bad, some something just as lethal. See, when they got you, it leave your mind all feeble. And when you can't get it, it leave you crouched in the fetal. Even I wanted to try for myself, but all I had to do was take a look at other users' health and their wealth, and also their position in life. And if they had the chance, would they make the same choice twice? What was nice is we could always talk to Granny. It got her caught up along with others in the family, but through the grace of God, she made it through. The problem is, your future may not be as blue. Sad but true. Baby girl, I'm writing this one to you, even though you still ain't came out the womb. I want you to be everything that it is that you want to be. So I'ma try to show you what you need to see. So this is a letter to you from me. And it goes to some do's and some don'ts, some good and some bad, some will and some won't.
So we covered the birds and the bees, money-hungry hoes, dating, drugs, I guess everything that we could cover for a baby that still got more than 9 months to be delivered. But the important thing, you know, is that we're starting early, because when you do come, I want you to have the world and not let the world have you, and, you know, be a victim of circumstances. I've seen it happen to way too many girls. They had their whole life ahead of them and they just failed to realize it. So all I can do is just give you love so you can at least say that you felt it once in your life.
All right, now we're going to be really building on spirituality right now. This is an important time. Everybody that's not aware of what time it is, wow, get out your pens and pads. You may need it because it's going to be intense. Now, I'm going to lead, Nehemiah, I'm just going to lead off with a couple of questions from the chat room, and we're going to just go into it like that. Now, one of the people asked, why aren't you Christian now? Or why aren't you Christian now? That's Guess Who God Is in the chat room. And another question is, going back to your mother's addiction, how did you deal with it? Does spirituality play a part in that? And that's by Mes TDACQ. I mean CJ. I'm sorry about that. Shout out to you guys in the chat room, man. You guys definitely out here. But can you answer that? I mean, did you see just a bigger picture with Christianity, or what is that?
Well, what I can do is I'll answer the second question first and then answer the first question, because then we can touch on a little bit more deeper about my takes on religion. But it was weird for me, you know, growing up with a mother who was addicted, because there was never a time where I blamed her or felt angry towards her or anything like that. You know, it was almost just like I was trying to come from an understanding part, and I was just a little kid at the time, you know, so it kind of was like a big issue my whole life. So just like anything, you know, we adapt to it. So I adapted to it as well as possible, and, you know, I just try not to let it fuel any reason for me not being able to accomplish anything in life. Everybody can always find an excuse or a reason not to do this based on their past, but if you use it in a different way, you know, that thing can ignite you, because I got to see firsthand how I didn't want my life to be, and I got to see firsthand while going through a lot of other experiences that I may have. Then when I started becoming spiritual, I understood more the bigger picture of why I was exposed to that, you know, and why it is that I came here with these settings and what it is I need to work on while I'm here. So once I started to understand the spiritual level, I started to put two and two together, and then you start to just try to evolve from that, you know. As far as religion goes, I'm not Christian because based off of everything that I've known and everything that I've come across, you don't need any type of religion to reach where it is that you want to reach. And one of the problems with religion is that the underlying message throughout all religions, if you check, is all the same. Buddhists, Muslims, everything. It's all the exact same message. These leaders all taught the exact same message. But it's through man that that message has been skewed in order, one, to create fear, in order to control people, and two, just and not only to control people, but once you understand this type of knowledge, you know, you can really determine how the world's going to go. And these people with the right knowledge know and use it in a way. which is bad because they got us all confused. Like, what are we doing here? Who do we follow? Blah, blah, blah. But you understand bigger that everything, we're all connected in the same way and that there's no separation. And when it comes to religion, there is a lot of separation. And there's no separation. So for me to understand that there's no separation, I can't really get into an organizational type setting where, you know, separation is something that's really big with it.
Definitely. Now, do you see it like this? Like, I know a lot of the contemporary thinkers, you know, they say now that we are actually God in his own imagination. Is that something that you see as what the state of reality is right here?
I think that we are all pieces of God, and I think that everything that we are experiencing is just it's our imagination. Basically, I believe that, you know, this whole reality that we're in, this physical plane of Earth, is really just a 3D stimulation. And I think that, you know, when we're asleep or when we cross over, when we die, that is our actual home and the place that we were before we came into this physical world. So I think that almost everything in this physical world, well, not almost, but everything in it is an illusion created by our own minds, which, if it's created by our minds, it's created by God's minds because we are God. So I think that it is part of our imagination. I do feel that we do come to this earth with work to do, though, as far as progressing spiritually. So, you know, I do feel like as fun as it is, there's also work that needs to be done while we're here.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, Mark Marcel, he says he sees that, you know, that poetry wasn't his tool, or poetry wasn't his gift, but actually a tool to use to go through the work. Is that sort of how you see your presence as far as in the media or in, you know, doing your music, as far as just a tool so you could, people could see what the spiritual journey is you're on and stuff like that?
You know what, man? I think that we all come here with certain tools that are going to be able to help us in our spiritual progress, you know, and I think that tapping into these tools, you tap into, like, a different consciousness, when you tap into, like, that creative energy, you know, you become a channel. If you listen to most of the great musicians who made songs that last for decades, one of the main things they say is, you know, that wasn't even you playing that song that night, you know. So on that creative level, you open up that channel. And, you know, I don't know if music is my calling, but I do know that just sharing everything that I got is part of my calling, because I think sharing is part of all of our callings.
I definitely hear that. Now, do you feel that that you made a promise to come back here at this time? A lot of people feel like at this time that most spiritual beings that are here now made a promise to come back here. Is that sort of how you see it, or how do you see? Is this your first time here?
Is this my first time here? I mean, egotistical, I would say yes. I would like to think that this is the only time I had to come here. But I know for a fact this isn't my first time here. And I do believe that, you know, we all came down here with the understanding of what was going to take place. And it has been said, you know, that we are pretty much like the reincarnated souls that were at the time of Moses when he parted the Red Sea. So with us choosing to come here at this time when there's going to be, you know, that level of certainty that we're going to have to meet because we're going to come to our own Red Sea, that would make a lot of sense. You know, so I do believe that before I came here, I was looking down at the calendar, looking at where the stars were aligned, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to be born on this day, so I'm born with these traits because this is what's going to help me grow spiritually.
No doubt. And, you know, it's funny that, you know, I think Nehemiah is very telling for the times that we're in, because if you notice about the story of Nehemiah, he is the water bearer. He's the one that's going to bring us into this time of Aquarius, supposedly, and, you know, written text. So, you know, it's telling that you're bringing this knowledge like this to usher into these new times like that. Now, how did you get into meditation? What meditation practices do you use?
You know, I'm not going to lie to you. Meditating is something that I just really started to get into. And before, I mean, my meditation was just sitting down in my car with no stereo. Like that's how I figured meditating was. But it was always hard for me just to sit down quietly for long periods of time and do nothing. That was always hard for me. So the meditations that I do now, I've been studying Kabbalah, so they have some really good connections, is what they're called, more so than meditations that I do in the morning and I do at night. And for people who want more information on that, they can just Google Kabbalah or whatever, or go to Kabbalah.com and they can understand a little bit more. But those are the meditations that I do now because I like the connection that they bring. But as far as just sitting and meditating, it's a place that I have to get to. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to y'all and act like I'm this big yogi. For one, I barely can do yoga, you know what I'm saying? I can't even sit Indian style, so I'm not going to sit here and act like, I'm on some Jesus level, but, I'm getting there.
Yeah, we're all getting there. We're all on this spiritual path together. Now, what have you seen anything supernatural, or has anything supernatural occurred to you now that you have been on this path that you could attest to that may have been of a spiritual nature?
Yeah, I can definitely say that I've had quite a few incidences that, not only have just solidified a lot of things that I was reading about, for years, but also just solidified everything that I kind of already knew. And there's been many times that, I have meditated and gone to a different dimension. I can't tell you exactly which one that is, but a part of me believes that it's Yesod, which is pretty much the dimension right above us, which is called the world of answers, where, we come from. So I do believe that that's where I went, and, I was communicating with different institutions, giving me all types of knowledge and things like that. So there has been times. So, a lot of stuff that I've seen, it's not just stuff that I've read. And, if it was stuff that I read, I don't even know if I would really believe it as much as I do now, you know what I mean? 'Cause without experience, it's just it's all mumbo-jumbo. You can't really go by what another person is saying, but having these experiences that I've had, sometimes talking to them, people look at you like you're crazy. But I've had to get past that, because if I explain to people some of the things that I've seen, it's they're going to, one, look at you crazy, but, it's it wasn't seen for me just to be quiet about it. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't think that you're given that type of knowledge for you just to sit on it for yourself and just to, just to hold on to it. So I try to share as much as I can. Like I said, I think that's what we all are supposed to be doing anyway.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, you talked about Kabbalah a little bit. Have you experienced or done anything with geometric shapes, such as the Merkaba or the Metatron's Cube or the Tree of Life? Have you used any of those in your spiritual practices or anything like that?
I haven't. I have not. And this whole spiritual journey that I'm on is, it's growing. It's growing real fast, but, it's still growing, so that's something that I haven't tapped into yet.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, what are some of the answers that you have gotten from the world of answers? Because, that is something that is put out there a lot in a lot of older texts and things like that, of this place that you can get to through meditation and through different practices. What are some of the answers that you were able to bring back from there?
Well, man, there's some really good answers, too, and I want the listeners right now just to be prepared. You can call me crazy or whatever, but there's been times, where I have meditated and just gone way, way far beyond. But one of the times I actually seen the machine that everything is recorded on. And I think that a lot of religions have, like I said, the underlying theme is so true. It's there is a force that's watching us. We are being judged, not in the way that they think we're being judged, not in a way of, if you do this wrong, then this is where you're going to go, and you're going to suffer for eternity. Not that type of judging, but more so judging for us to learn, because that's what we came here to do. So, that's one of the things that blew my mind, is being in front of something like that, it's you be in your car picking your nose, and all of a sudden now that you're being watched. It's something crazy before, you know what I'm saying? So it's some information that will really bug you out. When you want to be by yourself, you kind of know that you aren't, So that was a big thing for me.
No doubt. And, the Egyptians called that actually the Akashic Records. And in hip-hop, I think that, Tupac saw it with All Eyes on Me. I think that's what he was talking about. And, because I actually, because I seen it too. And once I crossed over, I actually saw all these eyes, like the walls and everything were eyes. So it's just like, it's all eyes on you. You're never alone. Well, what sort of advice would you give to somebody that is seeking, to go a spiritual route or to get some higher consciousness? What would be like the first step you would give them to take?
The first step I would give people to take is, one, just to go into it with an open mind. If it's something that you really want to indulge into, I'm not saying believe everything that you read, but I'm just saying go into it with an open mind and know that, a lot of the things that you were taught up until this point, you could reveal them to be a lie. And for some people, as soon as they start to realize that, they just push the information away. But I just say just go in it, open your mind, and just be prepared for a ride that, once you step in, you're not going to step back out. It's going to be impossible for you to, see life as you've always seen it.
Wow. And now you were talking about beings, different beings, and I have stories about different things I've seen in my spiritual practices. Can you describe any of the beings that you have seen or anything like that? Like what they look like? Did they look human or did they look like something else?
Nothing from what I saw was in any way, shape, or form human related. So it was like nothing over there. This human form that we're in, like when it's described as a vehicle, that's true. That really all it is. We have zero attachment to this physical body that we're in. So when you're doing something like this and you're crossing over, like that's the first thing, one, that you have to be able to detach from and shed that ego a little bit. So being over there, no, there's nothing really in human form, but the beings is so weird. It's almost like, and it's so hard to say this, it's almost like an energy that's being like transmuted to you. You can have a conversation without even like trying to have a conversation. And the first time it was crazy because I didn't realize what I was being shown, but the first time it was like, I was shown like an atom. And one of them was like, look, he doesn't have much time. He just needs to know that, this is all your world consists of. It's just this. And once I started to do more studying, I realized that, everything in this world is just an atom. Everything, you break it down, is just an atom, and it's just that positive, negative, and that central column energy, and that's it. Nothing is even solid in this world. It's just the illusion of solid. So it took me a while to understand what it is that I was shown, but once I did figure it out, it rang back instantly to that time. I was like, so this is what I was being shown, So that, that's deep in itself, just to be able to just know and look at things and understand that it's not even solid. Your mind is telling it that it's solid. People walk through a day and just have those type of thoughts that mess you up a little bit, because you're just like start thinking you can walk through walls and stuff. But it's been interesting,
it's
though,
coming.
to say the least.
It's coming, definitely. But hey, and everything is vibration. What is your theory around vibration and things of that nature? Do you think that this is more like we're more like dense vibrations as opposed to actual concrete matter and things of that nature?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you take a look at an atom isn't even solid. It is these energy forces vibrating. So when enough of these atoms are vibrating together with a specific consciousness, that is the item that you're going to be looking at. When these atoms come together with the consciousness of being that flat screen that you watch your football games on, that's what they will be. It's like that is the same thing with our bodies. There's nothing on this planet that really is solid. It is solid in the way that's based off our minds make it physical, but as far as being solid, no. And that breaks down to everything is made of the exact same thing. So everything is a vibration. Our voice, our speech, it's a vibration. That's how, like, radio waves travel. You know, that's how the signal, it's a vibrational signal, and that's the reason why someone is transmitting at 92.3. They're putting out a signal. You have to turn your receiver that receives that signal on that same channel for the message to be clear. And that's exactly what this universe is like, and that's what mediums are like and psychics. They're able to just, you know, pretty much turn their tuner to the right frequency, and they get all different types of information and different type of visuals and things like that.
Definitely, definitely. And now, you were talking about radio frequencies and things of that nature. Do you think that we have an aura around ourselves that sort of project and can be? I mean, are we just limited to our voice and to the internet? I mean, do we have more of a connection to people?
We have a huge connection to people, and the moment that we realize what that connection truly is and start to work on making it stronger, we kind of just like are doing away with something that's really, really powerful. I mean, we feel aura, we feel energy. That's the reason why our initial reaction when we first meet people is reading their aura. We know nothing about these people, yet within 2 seconds of coming into their field, we already kind of have our mind made up of how we want to treat them. You know, it's like either this feels like a person that I've known my whole life, or their energy is just kind of throwing me off the wrong way, and I'm not going to feel like myself around them. We feel their aura. That's how connected we are, you know, and we feel the energy of everything around us, even speech. We feel the energy of the stars, the planets, everything, because it's all connected, you know, and that's how it's able to work.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, if everything changed and if you were able to transcend to another place right now, and you had to give some last parting words to people to get to that area and get to that level of spirituality, what would be your parting words to them?
That's deep. I would tell them to, I would tell them just to, I couldn't just tell them one thing. I mean, that's how, you could tell them one thing, but I would just be like, you know, I would just tell them to learn what Satan or Satan really is and to overcome it. And they'll get exactly to where it is that I'm going.
No doubt, no doubt. And do you see, like, the ego as more like the Satan inside of us, like the evil force we had to destroy?
Yeah, I don't know if it's more so of, like, an evil force, because I think that we know about this force when we come down here. It's more like an opponent. So in order for us to become the best that we can be, we need our opponent to be the best that it can be. And that's the reason why it's constantly battling us. And
no doubt.
The stronger we get is the weaker our opponent gets. And that's our whole point in coming here. And that's the reason why, you know, we have these incidences that we have that build these characteristics that we have, because and those are what we're meant to shape so that we can evolve spiritually. So that evil force that we speak of is really just our adversary. And he's working 24/7 the same way we should be. And the Satan and, you know, the devil, whatever they want to call him, is really just that. And you look at, like, the Illuminati thing that we're starting to see a lot with the rappers, and in reality, it's not really like a red-horned devil that these people are talking about when they say that they're devil worshippers or Satan worshippers. It's more so of their connection with the physical stuff, more so the spiritual. And it's the stuff that can only be perceived with the five senses, which anything that can be perceived with the five senses that we're limited to is limited to our ego. So when you listen to them talk about devil worshiping, Satan worshiping, is more so of worshiping the ego versus worshiping the light force in which we came from.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, real quickly, man, where can people catch you out online?
People could catch me. I'll be messing around on Twitter. It's twitter.com/Nehemiah MTV. That's NEHEMIAH. And my website is going to be done real soon. I'm having some technical difficulties because I can't figure out exactly how I want it to be, but NehemiahClark.com is going to be ready. So that's where I want everyone to be able to go, and they'll be able to get all my information.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. And, man, I appreciate you calling and building and showing people what's going on, you know, out there. Man, you're doing some real awesome spiritual work, man. You're dropping some real jewels, man. So definitely appreciate you calling up 2RAW4TV, man. The best in all your endeavors, man, because you're doing it big.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I just want to thank everybody for coming in and listening, and, I appreciate what you're doing, man. Appreciate Mark and all these people who, we're all coming together to put this message out there. So, keep doing your good work, man. Keep fighting a good fight.
No doubt. Appreciate it, man. No doubt, no doubt. But, yeah, call up anytime, man. Do your thing, man, and keep it raw, definitely.
Okay, cool. You can leave them with a song. I don't know which ones you got. What songs you got?
Okay, we got, let me see. Hold up. I've just scrolled past it. My bad, dude. We got, we'll leave them with a song. This is, we got Slow Dance.
Yes, leave them with Slow Dance. Let's leave on a positive note.
Okay, no doubt, no doubt. This is Slow Dance by Nehemiah Clark, y'all. Check us again on Thursdays at 11 p.m. Exclusively on blogtalkradio.com/2RAW4TV, y'all. Hey, remember the revolution is within, man.
Make some love to the earth.